Welcome back to Let's Play Katawa Shoujo. You know, for some reason, just like to start this off, this window here with like the trees and all in the background reminds me this one park, kind of country park area I'd always go to. Anyways, normally I'd tap her this to wake anyone else up, but it wouldn't work with her. I immediately start thinking of tricks I could play on her if she's sleeping. It's disappointing that my train of thought goes in those kind of directions. No CG, after all, then. Hello, good afternoon. She signs one greeting with each hand. It's really confusing. Hey, what were you doing? Secretly slacking off? Shizune smiles but lowers her head to conceal it, and tries her best to look annoyed instead. Don't just stand there, it makes me nervous if I'm sitting down and you're not. I take a seat in the nearest chair while Shizune pauses to adjust her glasses on the bridge of her nose like she's fine-tuning an instrument. Why are you so far away? Does that make you nervous too? Pursing her lips, Shizune doesn't look too amused at my taunting her. I had some free time, so I thought I would drop by and see if you were still busy. Do you want to help me? Yeah. Too bad. I'm grateful, but it's not necessary. I just finished the last of it. Now everything that needed to be done is done. So formal. Misha was just as business-like yesterday. You both getting serious for official student council business? I'm always serious, like the student council candidate should be. That was fast, from zero to immediately criticizing people who aren't even her colleagues yet before I've had a chance to stretch my legs. At least the presidents, they need initiative or whatever, then maybe they can motivate everyone else, or at least strong arm them along. But even though there's a bunch of them, they're all so wishy-washy. There's no one running for vice president, so they all want the big prize, but none of them have the right drive for it. And then the treasurer's always so flaky. I've decided to use my power to just eliminate the position. Wait a sec, please can you, even do that? I don't think it works that way. It is how it is. With that, Shizune stares grimly into the distance, rubbing the frame of her glasses. That doesn't answer the question, future dictator. I'm disappointed. They should want me out of here faster, because they want the job, or at least disagree with me having the job. If I can't mobilize a bunch of student council wannabes for idle reason, all my work will have been for nothing. Actually, isn't that politics in general, really? I mean, like in the UK, like a while back, maybe it's still ongoing, freaking politicians stabbing each other in the back to get high positions. Yeah, that's freaking how politics works. And it goes to show how shitty the whole system is, isn't it? It's like if everyone stabbed each other in the back just to get more power, how the fuck can they actually, organize and run something if that's how freaking dodgy they are? But anyways, even if they're going to be so slow about it, I'll just hold on to my office as long as possible. Shizune punctuates the sentence with a snap of her fingers, creating a sound as sharp as a gunshot. I wonder if she knows how loud she can do that. It's definitely an attention grabber, so I could only see it as invaluable to a mute. She might have practiced it because of that. All of it, huh? That's too harsh. I always thought this is the real test. Leaving a lasting impression is important. It's why I don't build sandcastles. They crumble when you leave. Maybe, but if I see an especially neat one, I still think it's impressive. I'll say it's impressive. I kind of admire you, so to me it wasn't for nothing. She tugs at her glasses as if she wants to take them off, smiling wryly. Sorry. I was callous and something selfish slipped out. I've always wanted to stand at the top. It didn't matter what it was, as long as I was the best at it, and understood it completely and made it my own. Like when you hear a song and dream of being a musician, or see a plane and wish you could be a pilot. Have you ever had a dream like that? Yeah. First time I played soccer, I'd wondered if maybe I could ever get good enough to wow people. It was just a fantasy though. As soon as I saw the gap between me and people with real talent, I put those dreams behind me. I remember as a kid, like, had various kind of ideas, like, yeah, what if I was, like, in a band or something, and just, like, real famous? Heck, I still think about that every now and then. But with my anxiety, I think, oh, I don't know, man, I don't know. And, like, I remember as a kid, just like, oh, maybe I could be a wrestler or some shit. No, definitely not. Or, what else, you know, the typical ones, like maybe a firefighter, a police officer, and all that. It's like, I don't know. You just think of those things, but then when you think about them long enough, you're just like, I don't know, man. But then someone will just be like, follow your dreams, kid! Just like, what if the kid's dream is something completely insane? Because sometimes it can be, isn't it? Well, with my heart the way it is, I can't play soccer anymore anyway. Imagine if it was something like rugby, then definitely would have to not play that anymore. Do you still have dreams like that? No, they're unrealistic. I realized it very quickly. There's always someone better. Wait, what examples did she give? Well, you don't have to be the best of the best, really. You can still be a musician or a pilot. You have to be adequate enough for a pilot, so I imagine obviously being a pilot takes a lot more work and effort than simply become a musician. But both require time and effort, so you'll never be the best of the best, because nobody is the best of the best. It's subjective on that anyway. I mean, you could be like a really great pilot, but is there really such thing as the greatest pilot ever? But I can kind of relate to that. It's like when I'm playing music, I'm always like, oh man, there's always someone freaking with more talent than me. And it just kind of gets to you, but at the same time, why freaking worry at the same time by that? Of course, there'll always be someone with more technical skill, better writing, but nobody is the absolute best. Just freaking work with your strong points. And that's the odd thing, really. It's like when I say stuff like this, it sounds optimistic, and yet I'm such a cynical, pessimistic kind of person. But I have this optimistic side at the same time, particularly when I'm rambling. Kind of odd. A nostalgic expression crosses her face. She looks oddly mature right now, as if the days of competing vigorously against others for sympathy are long behind her. Of course I know that nothing could be further from the truth. Just last week she wanted to see which one of us could learn the biggest bubble with a piece of gum. It could be that she was even worse when she was younger. A terrifying force. I like that. There was always someone better. When someone greater than me would appear, I'd get so excited. I'd want to challenge them. Even though in the end they would usually turn out to be better and I would be left in awe. There are some people who are on a different level completely. After a while I got jealous. I wanted something like that for myself. Is that what the student council is? The thing just for you? No, even though it feels like that sometimes. That wasn't why I decided to do it. That is another story entirely. But I like being student council president. Even if the work is hard and I'm always biting off more than I can chew. That is what keeps it exciting. People at the top shouldn't be able to be comfortable all the time, anyway. You sound like a farmer. Although they wouldn't suit her, Shizune would look cute in overalls and a straw hat. So, if that wasn't a reason, why did you run for the job? I didn't, but afterwards I decided to stick with it anyway. I wanted to be the student council president because the old student council was stupid. And I want to stir people up so that they will be able to say, that was interesting, today was interesting, that kind of thing. Memorable experiences. I'm happy because I think we succeeded, you and Misha and me. I have a selfish desire too, though. At first it was something I thought would only be a nice bonus, but I've gotten greedy.
That's why it would make me happy if the elections go smoothly. It would be the only way that I could see that my wish was granted.
What is it then?
It's a secret.
Sensing that I might not be ready to let such a weak dodge slide by so easily, Shizune quickly waves down any attempt at a follow-up, embarrassed coloring her face. It's something she wants to keep to herself only because it's too silly to do otherwise. I start to feel a pang of hunger and check my watch. It's earlier than it looks. Too early for dinner. Do you have any kind of food on your desk? For a second it looks like the question confuses her, but she recovers quickly.
Desks are for supplies.
Food is supplies.
You should have eaten lunch.
I didn't think it would be a problem if I didn't. If I was working, I wouldn't have to think about it. I'd be too busy to be hungry. She puts her hand up to her mouth in a poor attempt to conceal a laugh and tries to hide it further by pretending to use it to push her glasses fill up the bridge of her nose. I guess you're not, since you already ate. I'm not good enough to sign the appropriate words, so I settle for pointing at a stack of Chinese food containers leaning precariously out of the top of her trash can.
Those are from yesterday.
Then we're both hungry. Let's get something to eat. Not from the cafeteria. There wasn't anything good at lunch, so I really doubt there will be anything good left over. Order something?
Ordering out 2 days in a row is unnatural. Only in case of emergencies. That is my personal policy.
This is why she should think of putting some snacks on her desk. It would be an easier way of dealing with these kinds of emergencies. I want to tell her, but signing out how hungry I am like 5 times has made me too tired to be a smartass. The temptation is really great, though.
Hi!
Misha's distinctive up and down voice sounds muffled through the door. She burst in a second later.
Hey-chan, you're here too!
Too? How did you know there was already someone in here?
If it opens, someone's inside! Ha ha ha! Am I interrupting?
Shizune shakes her head.
Great, that's really great, but I was sure I would be. Is this a break?
I thought so too, but it turns out everything student council related is over for now. Is that why you're here?
Haha, yeah, that's right, Hee-chan. Sorry to disappoint you. We were just discussing whether or not to order out for dinner. That sounds fun!
Shizune isn't being very fun about it, though. She says that she can't order food 2 days in a row. You hungry too? Because if you are, we could outvote her.
That sounds fun, Hee-chan. And I am a little hungry.
I thought you would say it sounds like mutiny. Shizune pinches the frame of her glasses, clearly thinking that it does seem like mutiny, but being outvoted by a clean 2-to-1 margin, there's nothing she can do. Misha already has her phone out. It's awfully garish.
Hee-chan, you promised we would have a student council thing, just for us, right? Right. This can be it.
Shizune only shakes her head. The last party she will be able to attend as Yamaku Student Council President is too special to her to put that label on our spur-of-the-moment early dinner. Even though I'm sure the real thing will be just like this, a meal like any other with the 3 of us. After we finish eating and clean up, I say goodbye to them and head to my dorm. Although I don't feel particularly tired, I think I'll just go straight to sleep tonight. If I were back home, my mum would nag me not to go to bed right after eating, but what she doesn't know won't hurt her. I take a look at the clock as soon as I get in and realize that it's a lot later than I'd thought. It also feels a bit silly checking the clock when I have a phone and a wristwatch. I take off my watch and hold it in one hand while holding my phone in the other. It makes me feel powerful and stupid. I try unsuccessfully to go to sleep, and I'm glad when someone interrupts me by knocking on my door after only a few minutes. I figured that it couldn't be anyone but Kenshi, which is why I'm surprised when it ends up being Misha.
Hi, Hee-chan! You don't look happy to see me.
Oh, I'm just kind of surprised. Did Shizune remember something that she wants me to do after all? It's late, but whatever. I guess it's good that I didn't change.
Nope, I just thought I'd follow you back, Hee-chan.
For fun? No, of course not. It's because she wants to talk. It must be about something important, and something she doesn't want Shizune to know about. Do you want to come in?
Yeah, thanks, Hichan!
She walks in and immediately takes a seat in the chair. The natural thing to do, but I'd expect her to sit on the bed.
Hichan!
Misha frowns harshly, arms folded over her chest. It's like she's trying to play a grim interrogator. All that's missing is the mustache and the dangling, flickering light bulb on a string.
Did you make Hichan sad?
What do you mean?
When I went to the office today, Hichan couldn't hear me coming. That's why. When I opened the door, I saw a really confusing expression on her face. Hichan looked happy and sad, and I want to know why.
Well, it wasn't because of me. I didn't even see it. I think she's depressed that she won't be student council president anymore in a few months.
When I asked Hichan about it, she said that it was okay.
That's meaningless. Shizune would say that, but it's ridiculous to think that she would let it go that easily. I mean, there are times when she'll want to fight me over the last apple or chocolate milk or whatever, and that is stuff that doesn't even matter.
Chocolate milk is important.
Okay, it is. Don't get mad, but not as much as student council is to her. She wouldn't just wave it off so easily.
Haha, you're right.
I thought that this was supposed to be an interrogation, but it appears Misha has already forgotten about it.
But I don't want Hichan to lie to me to make me feel better. Haha, most people don't know how serious Hichan is and think she's just putting on a show. I'm happy that you understand her, Hichan.
It's obvious, especially with how she talked about it today. Misha leans in closer with interest, resting her head on her palms.
Really? What did she say?
They are close enough that I don't think much of how she is prying. Why she joined the student council? Sort of. She started, but then decided that some stuff should just stay classified. And decided it's a secret, so I guess that's what she told me. It's a secret.
Well, if someone tells you that they have a secret, you can sort of call that a secret by itself, Hichan.
Just like how, according to you, luck is a skill?
It can be! Haha!
Be careful, not so loud.
Why, Hichan?
You're gonna wake up half the people in the building, and on top of that, storms are on COVID.
Hichan, are you thinking something dirty?
Stop being weird.
Haha!
This whole conversation is weird. Particularly since I do all the voice acting, here.
If you are, it's okay, I think.
Hearing that makes me realize how easy it's been for me to talk to Misha all this time. That I would be able to go this long without feeling the need to be on guard. This is the first time I have.
I feel sad, Hichan. It's funny, the happier Hichan gets, the more depressed I feel. Even though I should be happy for Hichan, I still am, but I can't talk about my problems with her.
Why not?
Just like Hichan can't talk about her problems to me, it's the same thing, Hichan. If we have that kind of problem, then I'm not sure anymore what I should do. I wonder if I'm a bad friend.
Misha gets up and quickly drops herself on the bed until we're sitting only a few inches apart. What? Just a couple seconds later, she pushes her head forward and gives me a light kiss. It misses my lips, more due to bad aim on her part than because of me. What are you doing? Although it's just a formality, it'd be stupid to not know what she is getting at. It's just that it seems so unlikely that I'm hoping there will be some way I won't have to deal with it. Now she decides to be shy and giggles, embarrassed.
Do you like me, Hichan?
Yeah. He obviously didn't say it like that. Her head is buried in my chest. It feels like she is talking into my scar. She might be able to feel it brushing against her cheek. I tried too hard to hide it from both of them before. It seemed like such a dumb thing to have worried so much about in retrospect. Oh, shit.
Please come with me, Hichan, just for today.
This is the last. You know what? Freaking light. It's freaking. It's like nearly 9. Freaking getting dark, man. So this is the final choice in this route. I'm surprised, really. So, if you refuse, it continues on with the route as normal. If you comfort Misha, it'll lead to the bad ending. But as is tradition, we go for bad endings first. I said as is tradition. We'll make a save point here, and I'm going right back to the main menu briefly. Let's see. Well, it's still quite a... Well, I suppose it splits off into a bad ending as well, so at least 1 or 2 scenes are going to be dedicated to that, while the rest would be for the normal good ending or whatever. I wonder how this will go. It's obviously going to lead into one of those scenes. It's going to be... This route's going to be weird. Well, it has been weird the whole way through. The odd thing is, like, when they were at Shizune's house, the route was interesting, but after that, it kind of got a bit derailed, and, like, it felt like the focus wasn't much on Shizune or Misha, really. It felt like it was kind of focused on, like, Kenji, which seemed pretty random. I mean, not that it's a bad thing, it's neat to actually see more Kenji, but it's supposed to be Shizune's route. Fine. As much as I pretend to protest, I've allowed things to come to this point. Even though I knew so far ahead of when she actually came out of it that this was what she was getting at. At the very least, I was okay with this outcome. If I needed any more proof, it's simple. I still haven't turned her away. Well, that's because I had been rambling, but that's not your reason. I could have at any point, and it was wrong of me not to do it sooner. Now, not doing so is something beyond simple carelessness. Misha takes my silence as agreement and screws herself against me tightly, as if she's trying to get into my clothes. My arms are enveloped by the softness of her skin and the warmth of her body. I roll over on reflex and end up on top of her. This is completely different to all the other scenes, well, obviously. You know, of those scenes, for one thing, the music's different and the context is also very different. Oh wait, maybe there was a scene... Yeah. Well, it didn't have this music, but I remember one of those scenes with Rin was a bit different-ish, I think. I can't remember. She looks at me as if expecting me to take the lead and closes her eyes nervously. The second I return her gaze, I guess I have no choice. But I clumsily begin trying to undress her, something I've never done before. I don't know whether to just be like off screen or not, because, you know, it's a different context kind of thing, so it's gonna have plot, I imagine, at some points within. Okay, I'll have to have the screen censored probably, but I'll continue reading some of this. I don't know. After all, I've only had sex once before, and I was restrained to a chair. That was... Technically, I was just like, wait, this was his first time, technically, you know, rap-wise, but then I remembered, oh yeah, there was that, wasn't it? This time I'm in control, like I'd wished then, but it's really kind of scary now that I am. And all blah 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 blah. Her figure is curvier than I expected and compliments her cute face. Blah 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 blah. What? Partially because Misha seems ashamed of her breasts. Huh? Whatever. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Shizune was better at hiding her inexperience, even though she was just as embarrassed. Are you ready? Are you ready? I wonder what the tone of his voice must be in this scenario. She nods without looking at me. And it begins. This is awkward. What? It's a different situation now, one I regret getting myself into. And she asks him to do it quickly. And then he stops. And then she says it's okay. And then it continues. What? Okay, that's new. Okay, Misha line.
This is my first time with a man. It's weird.
It's weird voicing you like that in this scene, really. I wish you would stop talking. Her voice is so quiet and breathy that I have trouble understanding her. But a tone of sadness permitted it is unmistakable and only makes me feel guiltier. I'm supposed to be comforting her, but it's entirely physical, and if Misha is being reassured in any way by this, she isn't showing it. That makes me question whether my decision was the right one. I'm really starting to doubt it. Well, naturally. Blah, 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 blah. It takes her a minute to separate herself from me. It gives me an opportunity to see her body fully. Her pink skin blushing bright red and dab with sweat. I feel cold.
He-chan.
I can't hear anything but the ticking of the clock and the sound of my own breathing.
Never mind, He-chan.
I sit around for Misha's hand with my own and caress it. How light and delicate it seems. Even if it grabs me so tightly around my wrist, the feeling is familiar. That was it? What? The following morning, I wake up thinking that most of my time is going to be spent trying to avoid Shizune and Misha. What happened last evening still makes me feel uneasy. I thought that sleeping on it would help alleviate that feeling. I feel like an idiot for believing it would be that easy. I think about whether or not Misha might feel the same way. If so, she probably won't show up to school today. I'd consider doing the same, but it would be pretty suspicious, and staying inside all day in fear doesn't appeal to me. Never really has. Like I thought, Misha isn't in class this morning. Shizune is, but today is a busier day than most, so she gives her all concentrating on her classwork. That means there's little idle time for her to start up a conversation with me. It's strange that I should be running from the thought of having to talk to Shizune after spending so much time trying to do just that, but I can't think of any other way I should feel. Had sex with her best friend. While you're in a relationship with her? I mean, technically you just cheated on her, man. If I feel this way about it, I wonder how Misha must feel. Just as regretful. When she came on to me, she was more depressed and sexy to start with. I can only imagine how much worse it would be now. Thinking about it like that, I want to see her again, but only half-heartedly. The other half of me is still terrified, even though I hate to use that word. It makes me feel ashamed, but I'm sure it is the only way to describe myself right now. It's not a good feeling. I spent the next couple of periods in the library, not in the mood to sit in classes for the rest of the day, but unwilling to walk back to the dorms. While I'm lazily flipping through the pages of an uninteresting historical fiction novel, Shizune drops herself into the chair across from me, pouting. I think it's sort of pointless to come to school and then skip every class. Sorry. At least tell everyone that you're sick. I'm just not feeling it today. Yesterday was fine though. Tomorrow I'll probably be fine. Taking a sick day in the middle of the week is just too suspicious. That 24-hour flu thing or whatever one fly. It's not suspicious. It is. I turn back to my book, but Shizune gently pulls it down in contrast with her expression, which straddles the line between concern and anger. You know, it's kind of like random to bring it up now after the scene, but that freaking line that she said though, about this first time she did it with a man, specifically first time with a man, that implies the way she worded that is she's done it with another girl before. So maybe this whole love triangle has a different turn to it than I originally thought. Maybe she likes Shizune more than I originally thought. I think maybe. Anyway, I turn back to my book. Shizune gently pulls it down in contrast with her expression, which straddles the line between concern and anger.
Is something wrong?
What?
Is something bothering you? Because you're acting a little suspicious today, in a different way. If there is, just tell me or I'll be mad. I'm not good at reading people.
What a ridiculous thing to say, after picking up my mood so easily. She's only half kidding, but there is some truth in it. After all, she can't hear a tone, and has to rely on reading to communicate with others. It's as if you could only ever have conversation with someone through text messages. That has to mess with you in some way. It's probably why she stares so intently at people, in order to gauge their reaction. Or maybe it's why she pushes people so hard to get them to react. I've thought about it before, but it's too hard to say for sure what Shizune's exact motivations are for anything. So I wonder how much of that was a joke. Sometimes it's easier to tell. This time it isn't. Assuming it wasn't a joke, I can't tell her anyway. Because it's sign language, there's enough time to collect myself and lie effectively. Nothing. I've just been thinking a lot about a student council future lately. I believe Misha's doing the same. Well, in her own way.
So am I, but she isn't here today. I wish she would have let me know something, because I might need her help later today. Yours too, unless you're busy.
I'm not.
Thank you. I feel like I'm losing a lot of people close to me lately.
I can't think of a good way to respond to that. Something reassuring and confident, telling her not to worry. I'm here for you. I'm not one of those people. Then who is? And it seems so forced. I manage a wave of my hand that seemed extremely callous as soon as I do so. You shouldn't feel that way. I might be just a little sick, not have to go through the trouble of making it official. It's just easier for me this way.
It's the wrong way.
I've heard the hard way and the right way are usually the same thing, so it's not a big stretch to say that the opposite is true.
Well, fine. If you say you're alright, that's good enough for me.
Wait. You asked me, so I'm doing it around. Is everything okay with you?
Yes.
She signs it without a moment's hesitation. After that, Shizune waits to see if I'm going to follow up on it. You know what? I'll just have my guitar at the ready. Because I don't know when the bad ending's going to kick in, and when the credits come around, it's going to be silent, and I'm just going to do what I do every other time and just play a sad melody or some shit. I wonder how this bad ending's going to go when it comes up. I don't, and she leaves. I feel like an idiot for not going further, even though I think it's better that I didn't. I've been in the library for quite a while and decided to go up to the roof for a change of pace.